Vargas versus Manzanilla, Huerta versus Joseph Diaz. We're gonna have a great show together tomorrow night. So I'm here at Fantasy Springs, televised on the Zone, which I'm gonna be a commentator as well. So I look forward to just being a boxing analyst tomorrow night and just explaining what's going on minute per minute in tomorrow night's fights.
Before we talk about the other boxing topic, I want to get to you. A lot of rumors. Jessie Vargas versus Kell Brook sometime around April. I know you can't say much, but if you had to give me a percentage of how close that deal with Kell Brook is, what percentage would you give me for that fight? Or is there any other options if that fight doesn't happen?
I hope that it's very close to confirming. We've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks, and it seems that Eddie Hearn wants to fight. It seems that he knows that I have already accepted the challenge on taking on Kell Brook and bringing him out to the U.S. and making the fight here, either in L.A. or Las Vegas. So that's what's being negotiated now. All we need is for Kell Brook to accept the fight. The minute he does, it's a go, and we'll be in the ring in April. But like I said, that's the only thing we're waiting for. Everybody's on board. The only person that needs to accept is Kell Brook. We'll find out if he does or if he doesn't.
Another name that you was very vocal about on social media that you wanted to fight was one Keith Thurman. He just returned. There was a 22-month layoff. What was your reaction towards his fight against Josecito Lopez?
You know what? After a long layoff, it's expected for him not to perform at its best. But then again, I'm not taking any credit away from Josecito Lopez. Josecito Lopez came to fight. He hurt Keith Thurman. He surprised him with several big shots. Not only that, but Keith Thurman also was in good shape. I mean, he had a long training camp. He was faster than I expected him to be with this long layoff that he had. But Josecito just made it a tough fight for him. Made Keith Thurman dig deep and made him suffer. Especially in that 7th, 8th round. And but ultimately, did it surprise me? No, I knew Josecito was a tough fighter. I fought him before in 2011, so I know what he's capable of. He's a talented fighter. He just wasn't able to get the victory against Keith Thurman. We'll see what's next for Keith, and if he's able to elevate his game and continue to, continue to elevate his game, continue to give better performances than he did the last fight, and if he can stay away from any type of injury.
There's another a lot of rumors going around too with the Keith Thurman. They're saying that possibly him and Broner might go at it next. Broner just came over the defeat with Manny Pacquiao. Your prediction was as accurate as I asked in terms of the predictions of the fight with Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner. Do you feel with that Adrian Broner, is that his last stand with somebody with the likes of Keith Thurman if that fight happens sometime this year?
Let's see. You know what? Adrian Broner, he has become very popular with the boxing fans. You either love him or hate him. A lot of people really dislike him. But ultimately, people will tune in either to watch him win or watch him lose. A lot to watch him lose just because he talks a lot. But he has put himself in that position where, people might not like him, but they'll pay to see him. And I think that's just the persona that he has always been aiming for, just to make more money. With that being said, I'd say he's still an attraction. People would still tune in to watch him fight. How many times they would watch him fight? How many times they would continue to purchase or just take the time to watch his fights? That I don't know. Maybe 2 fights, maybe 4, maybe 5. You don't know. It's just a matter of waiting to see how he continues to perform in the next coming fights. If he continues to give good fights, the last fight wasn't all that good, unfortunately for him. He wasn't very active, and he was just trying to play it safe, especially in the second half of the fight, just because he felt Manny Pacquiao's power. But, he does come to fight for most of the part. It's just, unfortunately, he didn't have any weapons. He didn't have anything to offer when it came to fighting Manny Pacquiao. He thought he did. He had the confidence, but it was very clear that just Manny Pacquiao was on another level. He was much faster, stronger, much more experienced, and he didn't know how to react to that.
Lastly, before I let you go, Jesse, big fight May. Canelo, Daniel Jacobs. When I think about Daniel Jacobs, he reminds me of a little combination of Floyd in terms of his boxing skills, plus Austin Trout, and he can switch it up southpaw like Arislandi Lara. All those three opponents I just mentioned gave Canelo a hard time. Do you see a Jacobs, knowing that he primarily fights orthodox righty, switch it up southpaw? Do you think he could win that fight against Canelo Alvarez come May?
I think it's a 50-50 fight. You know, anything can happen. Canelo Alvarez has the experience, you know, on over Daniel Jacobs, and Daniel Jacobs, you know, he's very talented. He might have the edge when it comes to the speed, the power. I'd say they're both the same. You know, they both have great power punches. Body punches would have to go towards Canelo, and counter punching, they're both great counter punchers. They just do it in different ways. I'd say Daniel Jacobs has better footwork than Canelo does. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's a 50-50 fight, but it's all about who's going to come up with a better game plan and who executes it better, you know, and who has a plan A and a plan B, because you're going to have to switch things up in a big fight like that. You know, you got to make sure to keep your opponent on his toes, and we'll find out, though. We'll find out what happens, and, you know, May in Las Vegas is going to be a good month for boxing, you know. But tomorrow night, we're going to have great fights here in Fantasy Springs. We're going to have, like I said earlier, we're going to have Machado versus Cancillo. We're going to have Manzanilla versus Ray Vargas. Charles Huerta versus Joseph Diaz. You know, it's a good show that they have put on, that Golden Book put on for you, you know, here on DAZN. I'm going to be one of the commentators alongside Ryan Rucco, Beto Duran. We're going to do a great job together. And I'll be fighting sometime in April. You know, I hope everyone tunes into my fight as well on DAZN. But tune in Saturday night, you know, tomorrow night on DAZN. It's going to be a good show. It really is. You know, even Oscar Duarte is in for a good fight. We have several good fights on the show.
Thank you for the time, Jesse. Hope to see you soon. I see you're doing a lot of great work with Freddie Roach now. Wish you the best, and I hope you get that big fight. Well deserved, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse.